This is Jake Seeley, and I'm the blown ACL that ruins your football season.
Good news, everyone! Let's get dangerous.
This is so cool!
I know.
It feels so right!
It's Jake Seeley.
I'm sorry, who is this?
Nice try, Moonman. Pretending not to know. Earth's greatest mastermind!
You just made the list!
I thought you said that was a myth.
Just because it's a myth doesn't mean it's not true.
If you all blindly follow my plan, we may have a chance.
Sure, we talk about it all the time.
Really?
No, burn.
Game on, you ducks. Let's get into the latest news that you need to know injury-wise for Week 12. And we'll start with the Thursday Night Football recap like always. Not a ton to take away from it outside of the fact that maybe the Texans defense is worrisome enough to consider benching just about everybody. Still, look, even knowing the outcome, I'm not benching Josh Allen for anybody outside the top 5 or 6 quarterbacks. I know it went bad, but I think, again, that's more of a testament going forward to maybe you consider benching wide receiver 3s, RB2s that you might have a better matchup with, but Texans defense is for real. And it's been for real, but then I don't think anybody expected it to be that good. James Cook still had a big day, and Khalil Shakir did a ton on his targets, which I know everybody's saying, ha, Jake. But I would bet that the rest of the season, that's his best game. It just all the targets, no Keon Coleman. That's just what happened. Unfortunately, as soon as I recommend a 10-team league, potential cut for more upside, the player's going to go off. So maybe that's something to consider going forward as well. But more for Week 12 injury news. Joe Flacco is off the injury report. Joe Burrow practiced the entire week. Watch before game time. There's a chance Joe Burrow plays this week, but it sounds like not definitively, but I mean a really good chance he's going to be back next week. And there's a shot he plays. If you have Joe Burrow, if you stashed him, he's going to rank close to my top 5. There's going to be some risk first game back. All that being said, no Jamar Chase, obviously, which is why Yoshivas is on the borderline wide receiver 2 conversation. But he would be a tough nut to play. You'd have to have, like I said, top 5 options. Otherwise, I am not starting Aaron Rodgers. I don't think anybody is outside of a super flex, and even then, maybe not. But if Mason Rudolph plays, I think you have higher volatility for DK Metcalf, higher ceiling, lower floor. We know what DK is with Aaron Rodgers, about a wide receiver 3 with an occasional good game. Oh, Khalil Shakir. That's who DK Metcalf is. And then Jaylen Warren is good to go. You see, I've had him ranked as good to go the entire week, pushing the top 15, not quite there, even with the buys because of the risk that they learned that they don't need to rely on him that much with their other options than Kenneth Gainwell. And actually a little sprinkle of Caleb Johnson. But I would expect them to say, 15-touch range, which is why Jaylen Warren is a high-end RB2, mid-high-end RB2, but not a fringe RB1 like had in the past. Bucky Irving is out. I'm sure you saw that. Sean Tucker and Rachaad White are both RB2s. Look, this is a game that could go past happy, which still would lean to Rachaad White. Sean Tucker has top 5 upside, as we just saw. But similar to the Seahawks, I consider that to be the Buccaneers running backs right now, is that either one of them could be top 5, either one of them could be 35, but both being RB2s and worthy of value for either one of them. Similarly, Travis Etienne and Bhayshul Tuten now, there's a little bit bigger of a gap with Etienne to Tuten, but if you need Tuten, we saw them getting involved last week, and he basically took most of all of LaQuint Allen's touches. It wasn't so much that he was eating into Etienne, it's that the share between Tuten and Allen all went to Tuten, but looked really good. So with the struggles of Etienne, especially in the goal line situation, maybe Tuten starts pushing 50-50 and value nonetheless. And speaking of the Seahawks, Kenneth Walker, supposedly just a rest day, supposedly maintenance, but now questionable for Sunday. Will be out there, it sounds like, and good to go. But from all the excitement of, Kenneth Walker is going to get more work, and now they have the Titans, which is kind of not a scary matchup in any stretch of the imagination. As you will know, I don't know if I could trust Kenneth Walker, as where I initially had him was pushing the top 20. He slid back. It's almost back-to-back with him and Charbonnet. Charbonnet was taking all the goal line work, and then recently they started to use Kenneth Walker some more. But all that being said, that questionable tag just adds the extra risk to the Seahawks being the Seahawks. Rhamondre Stevenson is back, and so is Kayshon Boutte. But Stevenson means Travion Henderson's a back-end RB1. I am still going to have him as an RB1. I'm still going to take the chance that they've seen what he can do and sees how valuable, that being Vrabel, sees how valuable Henderson is, and maybe he still has the RB1 value on 15 touches, 14 touches. Instead, Stevenson is a high-end RB3. But if this ended up being a 50-50 split, I'm just saying, like, you got to start Henderson. And, like, what's the difference? Like, who are you benching Henderson for? And that's my point. Is like, a lot of times people will get hung up on the ranks and look at them and be like, oh, well, somebody's 9 and somebody's 13. And like, you're starting those running backs. Like, so we're going down Travion Henderson. Who are you going to bench him for? Warren? Okay, cool. That's the safer play. Travis Etienne? Why shoot for the same upside? Like, actually higher upside with Henderson. Maybe if you're still inside the top 15, 16 running backs, you consider benching Henderson. I mean, yeah, James Cook's already played, so I should slide him behind him, but I can't move James Cook now. Javonte Williams against the Eagles, sure. Chase Brown against him on the other side of the ball. The volume is going to be there. Chase Brown's the safer play, but Henderson has the higher ceiling, so you get my point, is that's where he is. Kayshon Boutte is right back to being a wide receiver 3/4, high ceiling, low floor. Matt Collins moves down to a wide receiver 4 or 5, high ceiling, low floor, but the lower of the floors. Xavier Worthy for the Chiefs is questionable, but Xavier Worthy hasn't been hugely valuable, period. Xavier Worthy for me is in the same range of wide receivers that just haven't done a whole lot this year, in the wide receiver 40 to 48-ish range. But Trey Tucker, DJ Moore's at 40, Trey Tucker's 41, and Xavier Worthy is 42, which probably means all three of them are going to have top 20 performances because that's what happens. But anyway, that's the range that he's in. Like I said, hasn't done a lot and questionable, and it's against the Colts. So that's where he is. I actually have this next person, Darius Slayton, in front of all of them because he is back and he's with Jameis Winston. So Jameis Winston at quarterback, if you didn't see, having another start for the Giants. Jackson Dart another week before coming back potentially. And Darius Slayton back in the fold. There goes the Isaiah Hodgins shares. But Darius Slayton, wide receiver 3, tons of upside. It could go sideways, but I'm taking that risk in the wide receiver 3 range to give you an idea. Actually, alongside like a Boutte type of situation. Boutte and Slayton, let's go. Week 12, that's what we're talking about. Brian Thomas Jr. is out. Parker Washington and Jacoby Myers are both wide receiver 3s for me, actually in that same range with the Slaytons of the world. And who else we got here? Ayu Manor is out for the Titans, but DK is playing. It's DK and Van Jefferson as the top 2 wide receivers against the Seahawks. I mean, DK's floor, but kind of feel like it's a Jerry Jeudy type of floor. Like, even with all the targets, might not turn into much. So that kind of gives you the idea. Van Jefferson, you need a Hail Mary play, go right ahead, but it's against the Seahawks, which makes things tough. At tight end, David Njoku is playing, which of course dings Fannin just a little bit, but Fannin is still inside the top 15. But the real sneaky play, if you need it, I moved Noah Fant up to tight end 14. Yes, it's against the Patriots, but we've seen Noah Fant when there is one wide receiver down between Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. Opportunities for Noah Fant. So if you need a flyer at tight end, there you go. And that's everything we have so far. I will be back Sunday morning on the live Discord chat at 11 o'clock over at The Athletic. And until then, go get those lineups set, but be ready to change them because that's what can happen. You don't have to set and forget it. This isn't Ronco.